Good morning, everyone. My name is Sarah Fosholtz. I serve as the Board Administrator for the Texas State Board of Social Work Examiners. I'd like to take a roll call. Chair Brumley,
Present.
Ms. Andrade,
Present.
Ms. De La Peña,
Present.
Mr. Dollinger, not here. Ms. Pryor,
Present.
thank you. Ms. Rogers, Ms. Sáenz Davila indicated she could not attend. Ms. Swartz indicated she could not attend. Ms. Tatum,
Present.
thank you. So we do have a quorum. With that, I'll turn it over to Chair Brumley to call the meeting to order.
All right. As we call the meeting to order, we're gonna move some things around this morning, but I will go ahead and welcome everybody to the meeting of the Texas State Board of Social Work Examiners, and we will open to public comment. Agenda item number 3.
So for members wishing to give public comment, if you've logged in by computer, find the raise hand feature at the bottom of the navigation bar in your Zoom. We have no one here in person to give public comment. I would ask you to keep it to no more than 3 minutes. Those of you, if you're attending by phone, when I select you, you may use *6 to unmute. Please note that the public comment is not meant to be a discussion with the board, just a receiving of your comments. And with that, we will look at who has raised a hand. So Mr. Bumpus is one of our appellants, and you'll certainly be allowed to speak when we get to that agenda item, but you also have the right to give us public comment. Mr. Bumpus, do you have public comment to give?
No, ma'am. I thought this was the part where I appeal. I was just making sure. Thank you.
Okay, well, we know your mic works, so that's good to know. We'll be back to you shortly.
Thanks.
And if anyone else would like to give a public comment, please use the raise hand feature. Sandra Martin? Can you unmute? There you go. Ms. Martin?
We can't hear you, Miss Martin. Make sure you're.
But I do show your microphone on.
Can you maybe raise your hand again, Miss Martin, to just make sure you can hear us? Okay. So you can hear us, and your microphone's not on, not muted, but we cannot hear you. So you may need to check your audio settings. Tell you what, maybe we can come back to you, Miss Martin.
Ms. Martin, you might try leaving the meeting and logging back in, and we'll circle back. Okay, any other comments? I don't see anyone logged in by phone. Oh, here we go. Angie Lutz?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good morning. I just wanted to thank the board. I saw in the agenda item that you will be considering a resolution about the interstate compact, and we're doing a lot of advocacy work. I'm trying to get that in the legislative session, and we appreciate you doing that.
Thank you.
Ms. Martin, you want to try again? So,
Can she type in the chat box?
No,
That'll work.
no, yeah,
Okay.
that wouldn't work for her comment.
okay, so Ms. Martin, you might again try leaving the meeting and logging back in. um, if other audio settings don't work, and maybe we take an agenda item and come back to
Sure, we can
Ms.
try
Martin.
that. We'll try that, Sarah. So, all right, as we're moving forward, we're going to mix some things up, and I'll apologize to y'all for my voice. I'm able to speak today, which is different from days prior, but we're going to skip to agenda item number 6, which is licensing matters, which is board review of possible action on appeal of license applications for Brian Bumpus, John Knutst, and Norma Patterson. So I know Mr. Bumpus was here and he had raised his hand. So if we can hear from Mr. Bumpus.
Mr. Bumpus? There you go.
Good morning, members of the board. Thank you for hearing my appeal today. I appreciate it. And I have how long do I have to speak?
The board's been given all the materials related to your case. So anything that you have that's new to add or that you want them to consider, no more than 10 minutes is what was on your notice, I believe.
Excellent. So I'll try to be brief. I know people have things to do, so I'll try to keep it to maybe 5 or 6.
Thank you.
I'm just hopefully that you all will approve my license. I've been going at this thing for a while. I make no excuses for my previous criminal activity, but I am a different person. Some of what has been driving me as a social worker since the beginning was seeing people that were just like me and being able to help them. In 2016, I left prison for the last time. In 2017 is when I got sober. I've been sober since June 4th, 2017. I was working construction and doing well and living this brand new life of mine. And I ended up going to take a class at SAC, and a lady had told me, she said, Lisa Black, she may be on one of my appeal letters. I'll never forget, she said, I was asking her about like what I should do for a career choice. And she said, man, you're gonna be a social worker. And I was like, oh, yes, ma'am. If you know Lisa Black, that's the type of energy that she had. And I was just enthralled and intrigued with social work in general. I noticed that when I was incarcerated, there were a lot of Black and brown bodies in there. But when I went to rehab for the first time and the only time in life, I was the only Black person at rehab. And that kind of just sparked my curiosity for social justice and the questions that I had. And that kind of made me interested in going to school. Also, you'll notice that in my appeal letters, there are a bunch of social workers, LCSWs, LMSWs who have worked beside me, mentored me. Yelena Tadas from UTSA, a bunch of social workers have seen my work and have testified for me. Along with that, there are also people that I have mentored and families that I have helped. Their letters are included there also. I got my summa cum laude from Texas State. I went on ahead and became like one of the top in my class at UTSA after I graduated. I do plan on going and pursuing my doctorate degree. And if you all give me the L on my MSW, I'm gonna get my LCSW, get my clinical hours. I currently work as a clinical liaison at New Day Recovery Services, serving people and getting them the help that they need and getting them into treatment, detox, sober living, anything that they need as it requires for sobriety. Not only that, I serve on the board of Brit's Gift. We eliminate the financial barrier that people experience getting into detox, because as y'all know, the healthcare system can get pretty expensive, especially if you do not have an insurance. So we help people with that. And I also serve on the board for Heron Project, where they do the same thing. They eliminate the financial barrier that people experience trying to get into sober living. So I'm in the advocacy field. I'll be at Advocacy Day on February 25th. On the Capitol, just advocating for recovery in general. I don't think there's any more to say. The last thing I'll say, while you're considering me, I would say please just maybe Google my name. I remember it's a joy of mine today. I used to Google my name back in the past and it would be like mug shots and all this craziness. And now when I Google my name, I just see nothing but my MPI number and just great things I've done. I got my licensure for LCDCI from the HHS. The TC BAP approved my licensure for a recovery coach, and I haven't let them down. I will not let the profession of social work down. and I will do everything I can to uphold the social work values and core competencies as I move forward. So I just hopefully, I just hope that y'all approve me and just see that I'm a changed person. And I'm just not the person that I was years ago, which was over pretty much a decade. So I thank y'all for your time. I hope I was short-winded and we can get about our morning.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Buffus. So Patrick, is this a 108 situation?
Unfortunately, yes. The chapter 108, the occupations code 108.052 is involved here, where it states that the board shall deny if there's a conviction, if the applicant has a conviction involving a felony offense involving the use or threat of force, which unfortunately Mr. Bumpus has.
Okay. So Mr. Buffus, to kind of explain what that means, our hands as the board must follow the rules set by the Texas legislature. And currently the Texas legislature has passed a statute or a law that indicates that certain crimes by certain individuals or certain crimes by individuals shall not be awarded licensure, and that's in social work and counseling. So,
So social work and psychology.
oh, social work and psychology. I'm sorry. Yeah,
not
social work and
counseling.
psychology. Yeah, counseling and MFT do not have that rule.
Correct.
So we cannot award you licensure, but I would encourage you to stay on and listen to the rest of the meeting today for updates on things that are happening around the state that could possibly impact you in the future. So thank you for joining us today.
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
We still need to vote.
We
though,
still
right?
need to vote, yeah.
So
And I'd like to recognize that Ms. Rogers has logged in, but I can't count her in the quorum. And there she is.
oh, there she is.
Yay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Rogers.
So I would need a motion concerning Brian Bumpus' license. I will make the motion that I can make the motion, right? I can make it. Yeah. So I will make the motion that the license for Brian Bumpus be denied per section 108 of the Texas Occupation Code. I would entertain a second.
I'll second it. I'll second.
Okay. So we have a second by Ms. Pryor. All those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand or saying aye.
Aye.
So the motion does carry. Mr. Buffus, I understand the disappointment, but please, you're doing a good job, it sounds like. So please keep moving forward in your career and listen up for further updates.
Mr. Bumpus will follow up with you in writing as to what transpired today and what options, if any, might still be available to you.
Man, thank you, board. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
So, are Mr. Knust or Patterson or Mr. Patterson joining us?
Knust is here.
Okay.
John Knust, can you unmute?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Knust, do you have anything to add concerning your licensure situation?
No, sir, I do not have anything new to add. I can give a quick recap and a quick statement if y'all would be willing to hear it.
I don't know that we need a recap, but if you want to make a statement, the floor is yours.
Okay, I just wanted to say that the social work license, it means everything to me. I'm under the impression that I didn't find social work. Social work really found me. I originally wanted to get my LCDC work with mental health and recovery, but I didn't know if I wanted to work just with that one population for the next 45 years. So that's why I decided to go the MSW route to sort of keep my options open. But it is my dream to work with people in recovery and people coming out of the criminal justice system. Unfortunately, that issue is common in the field of recovery. It's just a very complicated thing. I'm here because of my DWIs, and um, I've done a lot of work. I've done the exposure therapy, I've done cognitive behavioral therapy. I did a form of task-centered and token therapy, coupled with 12-step treatment and psychodynamic therapy. And I have 3 commitments that I do. I have one 12-step meeting that I participate in. I have 2 other service commitments. So one's more of a kind of an oversight, and the other is more of a social thing for me to stay involved. But I've been all over the country. I've met with the top, psychiatrists, private rehab facilities, public places, and I've really been around. And I kind of see myself as Mr. Recovery. I wish it wasn't that way, but that's my story. And I just really want to help and make a difference however I can. And I know you've reviewed the information. If you have any questions you would like to ask me, I would love to answer. Yeah, I had met the 1-year marker for long-term recovery. I met the 2-year marker to work in a rehabilitation facility. And at this point, with my probation, I go in periodically to update my contact information, but there's not really a whole lot left for me to do there. So I really am on the tail end of this thing, hoping to get a chance. And I would really thank you and value any consideration. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Board, do y'all have any questions for the licensee or the prospective licensee?
For the board's consideration, Mr. Knust, when do you finish your probation?
So I finish in October. I'm at a point now where I go every other month. I have nothing left to do. I mean, I go in there, they ask me about my address and a couple other things, and I'm usually out. So it's been well over 2 years, and it'll be coming to an end this summer. But like I said, I've completed everything, and I'm just biding my time right now.
There's some point in time when you'll no longer need to check in. When is that?
The official closing is in October. I can request, ma'am.
I'm sorry, October of 2025?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And I interrupted you. You were going to say?
Oh, we had talked about that last time, and I didn't know if I had provided enough detail on what's going on. I know it's not the best thing to be on that, but I have, like I said, I've done everything, and I've done a lot more, that I didn't have to do to get where I'm at today. So.
Okay. All right. So board members hearing from the licensee, is there any questions y'all may have for him? Okay. Seeing none, hearing none. This situation does not fall under 108. Patrick, you have something?
I was just going to say, would you just a very brief elevator summary of why we're here with this application?
Sure.
Is his criminal history does not fall under 108, so it's not a mandatory denial, but it is on the list of possible convictions that relate to the duties of a licensee, and so his particular history falls under the part of the rule that talks about 3 or more drug or alcohol related convictions within a 10-year period. And so that's why I believe staff did the denial, where staff couldn't approve that, but the board can look at it, and their options are they can approve outright, they could deny outright, or they could choose the third path, which is an eligibility order, which is to approve the application with certain terms and conditions that the board sees appropriate for this particular applicant.
Okay. So board, hearing from Patrick, our attorney, any insight as to, so we have option to approve, deny, or approve with conditions. So I would need a motion. Anyone? All right, I will make a motion that we approve John, is it John? John Knust for licensure I would need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, so I have a motion and a second to approve the licensure of John Knust. All those in favor signify by saying aye, or raising your hand. Okay. Anyone opposed? Seeing none, hearing none, it is approved.
Thank you, Mr. News. We'll follow up in writing and let you know about next steps.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Knust. Norman Patterson, is Norman on here? Norman, if you're here, please raise your hand.
Mr. Patterson, can you unmute?
There you go. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Patterson, do you have anything that you would like to offer to the board?
Well, unfortunately, I fall under the 108 also. But I would just like to say I'm licensed in 5 other states. The offense that occurred was 27 years ago. It's just, I think it's really a shame that we, the help, aren't able to help those. Like for myself, with my turnaround, it was someone that had the lived experience, not just the skill set. I have helped. I've been used to help a lot of people. I have a nonprofit that I'm a CEO of, and unfortunately, I understand I won't be able to get licensed. But I just wanted to show up and just say that piece.
Thank you.
We absolutely appreciate your effort in showing up and participating in the process. So I would encourage you just as well to follow along with the meeting and keep involved to get updates on Section 108 of the Occupations Code. So, board, we have another situation where he is shall be denied based on 108. So I will go ahead and make the motion to deny Mr. Norman Patterson based on Occupation Code 108. I would need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, we have seconds from Ms. Andrade. And we need to vote. So all those in favor, raise your right hand, say aye.
Aye.
Motion does carry. Any opposed? Hearing none, seeing none, it does carry. So that completes agenda item number 6. And now we're going to move down to agenda item number 9. And we're taking these out of order due to some time constraints we have today. So we're going to go 6, 9, 8, and then we'll pick back up in order. So on agenda item number 9, which is related to rulemaking, we have the adoption of rules, discussion, and possible action to recommend adoption of new rules, amendments, or repeal rules, Title 27 of the Administrative Code. So we can take these as a group, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we have rules, or agenda items 9A, 1, 2, 3, and 4. First one is 781-306 related to professional representation. That's included in your packet. Anybody want any updates since the packet? Or
The only thing I would note, it's the only rule change. All of these rule changes before you, all 5 of them, are from the rule review process. The only one we got any public comment on was 306, and the public comment was generally opposed to making the change. This change is removing the sort of vague enforcement standards where we'd be trying to prove a social worker's mind versus their conduct. Understandably, some folks are opposed because they don't want it to seem like we're allowing social workers to mislead or misrepresent their services or their qualifications. The rules would still very much prohibit that. And so we think this change of staff is good because it really takes away language that may look nice on the books, but we can't actually enforce. Absolutely, we would still take disciplinary action against any licensee that makes a misrepresentation, that abuses a misrepresentation by somebody else, misleads or commits fraud on their clients. So just wanted to make sure that was clear.
okay, thank you, Robert. and I need to go back and amend what I had said. So it's actually agenda item 9A, 1 through 5. 5's just on the back of that page. I missed it. So is there any questions, discussion, or input on rule changes 2, 3, 4, or 5?
Did you have a change?
Robert, you have
Mr.
any-
Chair, just one thing. When you take the vote, if it could be contingent on number 5, the schedule of sanctions, the only change in that rule is really reflecting other changes. And in one rule regarding Rule 302, there's a typo of some letters. And so if you would just allow us to correct the typo in your vote to approve proposing or adopting these rules.
And it's in 302, you said?
It has to do with 302, but it's this last one, 805.
It's 71805 having
Yes.
to do with 302. Okay. All right. To make that. So back to the board. Anybody have any questions, discussions? Information was sent to you in your packets. Okay. All right. Seeing none, I will go ahead and make the motion. So agenda item 9A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with a motion to approve with reflecting back on 781-805, allowing staff to make changes related to 302 in the schedule of sanctions. So
I'll
made a
second.
motion. Got a second from Ms. Andrade. All those in favor, raise your hand or saying aye. Anyone opposed? Seeing none, hearing none, does pass. Okay. So that was agenda item number 9. We'll move now to agenda item number 8, enforcement actions. So this is board review and possible action regarding contested cases from State Office of Administrative Hearings. We're including docket number 510-24-17-396 in the matter of Kelly Bruner. So Patrick or Robert, do y'all have update on that?
We have Attorney Kenneth.
Attorney Kenneth. Okay. He's, yeah, there he is.
Yeah, Kenneth handled the
did
case at
that.
STOA, so he
Okay.
could speak to it more directly. But it's a proposal for decision back from the State Office of Administrative Hearings,
Right.
and I believe Kenneth staff is recommending that we accept the proposal for decision, and there's an order for your consideration that would then be sent up to the council for final adoption. So, but Kenneth, did you want to speak on the case?
Yes. What happened here is this involves a case from a social worker named Kelly Brunner. She pled. She was working in a social work. In a clinical setting, and she was charged with 134 counts of election fraud and related crimes around October of 2020, and pled guilty to some of them and received probation. And what these crimes were committed in the course of when she was carrying out duties as a voter registrar assistant. And so because these crimes were related to her social work, her performance of social work, we took it to SOA. The judge is recommending the judge's proposal for decision is in your materials, and he is recommending a 2-year probated suspension. It came out at the trial because the judge found during the trial that Ms. Brunner failed to set and maintain professional boundaries, that she did not, that she violated state and federal law, and that she failed to report this probation to the panel in a timely manner. And so that is I am proposing, I think that we should go ahead and we decided that we should go ahead and just accept the judge's recommendation here in the PFD.
Okay.
And Kenneth, there's one other stipulation. The proposal for decision from the administrative law
Yes.
judge says limit the practice, right?
Yes, that is correct. The ALJ recommends that the council place a restriction on respondent's LBSW license that she may not provide any type of voter assistance to a current or former client, including any type of assistance with voter registration applications.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Kenneth. So anything else, Patrick?
No, there's we may just want to see if she's here so she can
Okay.
speak to the board, and then there's a draft order that adopts the proposal for decision that we present to the board for their consideration to vote on, and then it would be sent up to the council for final approval.
Okay. So
Bruner have
Miss-
an attorney?
She was not represented, correct, Kenneth?
That is correct.
I don't see a Kelly.
So Kelly Bruner, if you're out there, would you raise your hand? Sarah's looking but not finding, and no hands are raised. So, board, hearing the information presented by Attorney Long and Attorney Patrick. So what this comes down to is Ms. Bruner will be on 2 years of probated suspension, which does include supervision.
No.
In this case, or not?
No, the judge
Does not.
didn't
They
recommend
didn't
that, so we
recommend
did-
supervision. Okay. So it'll be 2 years of probated suspension, which means she will have to check in with us periodically at some point, right? Or not even that.
Not get in trouble.
Not get in trouble. Okay.
again.
So we'll be monitoring her license for 2 years. And over that time period, if she completes this probated suspension, her license will go back to a unregulated or unattached license.
As long as she maintains it.
Yeah, as long as she maintains and keeps everything up to date. So hearing that, we need to vote to carry this up to the next level, which is the BHEC board meeting, which will be February 18th. So it will be heard then. So can I have a motion to approve the staff's recommendation concerning Kelly Bruner?
This is Karina. I'll motion.
Okay, so we have a motion from Karina Vestelopedia. Need a second.
I'll second.
Have a second from Ms. Tatum. All those in favor signify by saying aye, raising your right hand.
Aye.
Okay, motion does carry. So it will be heard at the 18th, at the meeting on the 18th of February at BHEC. So I see Ms. Martin is back. Do we want to try to listen? She had raised her hand. Ms. Martin, if you're out there and your hand is raised and you can unmute, now you're unmuted. Can you talk? Oh, Ms. Martin, we still don't hear you.
Ms. Martin, you want to try calling in on your phone? At the bottom of the agenda are a number of phone numbers where you can call in, and you don't have to be on the computer.
Or the other option, Ms. Martin, is you are always welcome to contact us through email and send it to Sarah or myself, and we will share any comments, any emails that you send with the full board. So happy to provide your input that way as well.
All right. So we'll move back into the regular order of the agenda, and we're on agenda item number 4. So the first is a report from the board chair. Since our last meeting, Deputy Director Romig and I attended the ASWB Delegate Assembly, which we learned information concerning the compact, concerning future and possible changes within the licensure exam. Anything else, Robert, that stood out?
Well, Ms. Pryor was able to attend and vote for you to become one of the ASWB board members.
Yes, yeah, and I forgot Miss Pryor was there. I forgot you, Miss Pryor, but I know you were there, and hope you enjoyed your opportunity attending the board meeting. So yes, and I was elected to be to the board of directors of ASWB. I attended my first meeting after that meeting, right there that same day. But I have my first meeting later on this month, and we'll see what that's all about. But so ASWB is supporting the move to the Interstate Compact, and also is aware of some of the uproar, kerfuffle, whatever you want to call it, over the exam, and they are looking into making some kinds of changes. One of the changes they look at is moving down to a 3-answer question instead of 4 multiple choice questions, which they're going to rule out one of the distractors in that situation. Maybe looking at some possibility of doing some other things with the test in the future that will come out as they make those decisions, or their board makes, or our board makes decisions that go along with their board. So, I guess the only other thing I have to report out, I reached out this week to our neighbor over in Louisiana, Hyacinth McKee, who is the board chair over there, concerning the tragedy that took place on New Year's Day, and just let her know that we here in Texas are very supportive of our friends in Louisiana, and if they need assistance or whatever, she can reach out to us for that. If they need more social workers, whatever. So that's all I have to report on from the chair. Report from the board's delegates to the Texas Behavioral Health Executive Council. That would be Ms. Pryor and myself. She represents the public, and I represent the professional organization, or the professional agency on the BHEC board. So, Ms. Pryor, do you have anything that you would like to say? There she goes.
Yeah. I really just wanted to say that I enjoyed attending. I got there in time to partake in some of the breakout sessions and to hear from people all over the country. And while I'm a public member and this was really a learning session for me, I just found it to be really informative. And you mentioned something about the exam, some of the exam criteria that was on there. And I listened to some people in some of the groups that I was in who had a lot to say about the exam rules and how they felt a lot of them were unfair. And I hope that in the future, some changes will be coming, because their arguments were pretty valid. The testing and how unfair some of the testing was. And so that was the thing that I sort of homed in on. But the overall, people were really engaged. They were really serious about their convictions on everything. And it was just really informative for me to be there and just listen.
Well, thank you. And thank you for taking time out to support the social work profession in Texas and being a part of the ASWB meeting. So, but as far as related to BHEC, I don't have anything to report out.
And board members, you have materials from the October meeting of the council in your packet. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer those.
All right. Seeing none, hearing none, we'll move on to agenda item 4C, which is a report out from the board administrator and other staff. Sarah, you have anything to report?
So board members, you have in your packet a number of reports from the councils. We held insights over the lunch hour, and a number of new leadership listening sessions where we just listened and answered questions from people, as well as other reports. If you have any questions about those, I'll be happy to try to answer those. Also, Director Romig, would you like to talk about the lawsuit that was received?
Yeah, just wanted to give the board an update, and for those listening, the public, y'all may be interested. So in late November, early December, the board received a lawsuit. The board is being sued. Y'all are all aware, by two individuals who were denied a social work license because of Chapter 108. And so the lawsuit is alleging that Chapter 108 is unconstitutional in that it unfairly prohibits the board from issuing these licenses. Again, for those listening who we just denied, if the lawsuit is successful and overrules that chapter of code, that may change the board's ability to issue licenses. As we discussed in those instances, the board's position and the board, what position we will take in the lawsuit is we follow the law. We follow the law as the legislature has laid it down for us. just for you board members, I think we've discussed, but you were each named as a board member in the lawsuit, but in your professional capacity as a board member, not in your personal capacity. And so there really shouldn't be a lot of effort that y'all individually have to go through. We will keep you apprised of how things are going. The Attorney General's office will represent us in this lawsuit. They have already filed a general denial, which is sort of the first step for us to say, no, we don't agree that we violated the law. What comes next may include exchange of information, may include discovery, may include depositions. It really depends upon how the folks who are bringing the lawsuit wish to proceed. We will keep you informed if there's anything that you need to do, but as of now, there is not. We will liaise with the Attorney General's office and do whatever we need to do to keep our end of providing information.
Robert, for those that are listening out there, could you or Patrick or somebody that's on here name the lawsuit if they want to look it up, or do you have that information?
I don't have it off the top of my head, but
yeah,
I've got it in my email right here.
Okay.
It is the two individuals, and so that's their names that will be the suit, are Catherine Yonacutt, Youniacutt, and Tammy Thompson. And so it's Yonacutt and Thompson v. the State Board of Social Work Examiners.
Okay. So you can, anybody that's interested can follow that case. I know the internet is magnificent. You can get a lot of information, so you can go there and keep up with it. So any more things, Sarah, for this agenda item?
I currently only have 4 board members on camera.
Okay.
We want to try Ms. Martin again. She raised her hand again.
Do we just?
We'll take a pause.
Oh, there you go.
There's
Thank you,
Ms.
Ms. Rogers.
Thank you, Ms. Rogers.
Yeah. So Ms. Martin, we see your hand again. We'll move back to public comment and try again if we can hear you.
Oh, she took her hand down.
Oh, she took her hand down.
Okay.
Well, while we're on public comment, we have a public here now from NASW.
He wanted to speak about agenda item number 10.
Oh, he's here for a
wanted to-
specific item. Okay, we'll get to you then. I just thought you was here for public. So, all right. Well, we'll finish up with agenda item number 4, and then we may skip down to 10 and get you going. So, we have report outs from committees, and number 1 is Ethics Committee, and we did not have anything to report out from Ethics. Ms. Science Davila is chair of Licensing Standard and Qualifications Committee.
I can report that
Okay.
the committee met 3 times, reviewing 4 different cases. So thank you to the committee members for their time to review those applications and allowing them to move forward.
Okay. Then 4D3 is professional development, and we didn't have anything that was changing a lot. We had that one.
Yeah, on behalf of the committee,
yeah.
you approved changes to the
To
jurisprudence
the jurisprudence,
exam
that's it.
based on rules that changed November 14th. So if you need to download the new statutes and consolidated rule book on our statutes and rules webpage, look for those rules that changed on November 14th. And thank you to Ms. Skiff for updating those consolidated rule books.
And I encourage everybody to pay attention to, I think that date's in the upper right-hand corner of that rule book, to always look and make sure you're on the most current version. I know I hear from a lot of people that download them periodically, and rules change throughout the year. So please pay attention to that consolidated rule book. Okay. 4D4 is Rules Committee. Mr. Dollinger not being present. Is there anything from that committee?
I can report that that Rules Committee is scheduled to meet on December 11th.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. That's already passed.
That's already passed.
Yeah.
Did
We
they met
so
on schedule
we
on
met
December
on
11th.
December 11th and started the process of looking at all of the comments we received in the rule review process and starting prioritizing things.
Okay. Okay. Is the rules review process on here? Do you want to talk about any updates on that?
I'll just mention
we're here.
that is the rule review itself is concluded, is over, is final. We've taken all the comment in, and we will start the process of digesting those comments and slowly over time bringing you rule proposals to reflect those comments.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Director Roaming. All right. We're going to skip down now to agenda item 10. Discussion and possible action regarding a resolution by the Social Work Board related to the board members' willingness to serve as a resource witness if Texas legislature considers bills that would allow Texas to join the Interstate Social Work Compact. So we have a public member here, NASW. So if you want to come to the microphone and introduce yourself and give us your report or your input.
Hello, all. Brian Modis, Government Relations Director with the National Association of Social Workers Texas. My apologies for arriving a little bit late to the meeting, but just wanted to provide comments on agenda item 10 having to do with the resolution for the Social Work Compact. Now, just so I'm clear, and since I walked in a couple minutes late, so y'all are presenting that today for passage, I guess? Okay. So we wanted to simply comment on that and just saying that we appreciate the board looking into this. I know that it's been done with I think LPC folks, and see it as one step in the direction of hopefully getting the legislature to pass and get Texas to adopt in the Social Work Interstate Compact to really address some of the critical workforce needs that this state has, along with continuity of care as more states look to adopt the Interstate Compact, and considering the fact that we neighbor Louisiana, who has adopted the Interstate Compact, but also as other states, as I mentioned, consider it, Oklahoma that we border, New Mexico, Arkansas, for that continuity of care, along with integrating telehealth and the benefits that it would provide for many, yes, clinicians, but also clients themselves as well, and the ability to streamline licensing for folks coming in from out of state, from other states that have the Interstate Compact. So we appreciate y'all looking into it and the consideration of it. NASW Texas plans to work with the legislature this session on filing a bill on the Interstate Compact.
Where is NASW in that process of?
Currently shopping the bill with legislative offices.
Okay.
Yeah. Have a meeting actually right after this.
Okay. All right. Good luck on that. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you.
Okay.
Ms. Martin's raised her hand.
All right, Ms. Martin, we see you back. We'll try again. You can unmute first.
Okay, I tapped unmute. Can you hear me?
We got you. Yes.
Really?
Yes. All right. So what comment would you like to make? I think you have 3 minutes.
This will be very brief, actually. It's an unfortunate start to Christian Counselors of Texas introducing itself to the Social Work Board. We have not covered you at all, really, over the past couple of years that we've been involved in government interaction, and we want to be. We don't have very many social workers in Christian Counselors of Texas, and I'm sure that's not the fault of the social workers. I guess it is. They could join, but we do want to integrate our covering of our government entities. We want to integrate Social Work Board into that, and so we will be appearing. And what I did was a simple switch to the workplace in Zoom is what worked. So we'll have that in control in the future. Appreciate your work. We do appreciate you. We try to encourage our government. We like them encouraged and happy. So it keeps us encouraged and happy. So we'll be seeing you in future meetings, and now I know how to get to them vocally. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Martin, and thank you for your diligent efforts to be heard today. So we're going to go back to agenda item number 10 now, which is in relation to the resolution by the Social Work Board related to one serving on the if you're called as a witness that you would be willing to testify, and the support of the Interstate Social Work Compact. So we take a motion. Anybody want to make a motion to on agenda item number 10 related to Social Work Compact?
I'll motion.
Who
This
was
is
that? Ms.
Karina.
Dela Pena? Okay, Karina. So we got Ms. De La Pena made a motion in support. Ms. De La Pena?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
So her motion is in support of agenda item 10. I need a second.
I'll second.
second.
Okay, got a lot. So I think I heard Ms. Pryor first. So having a motion and a second related to agenda item number 10, serving as a resource witness and support of Texas joining the Interstate Compact. All those in favor signify by saying aye, raising your hand. So seeing that, it is passes without opposition. All right. So now we got to go back. Let me see. Where are we? Number 5. All right. So agenda item number 5 is board discussion and possible action to reelect or replace professional member delegate to the Texas Behavioral Health Executive Council per Texas Occupation Code 507051, Executive Council membership of me, Brian Brumley, whose term is set to expire February 1st, 2025, per Title 22 of the Texas Administrative Code 881.4, council member terms. So I would need any discussion related to this agenda item? Without discussion, do y'all want to have somebody else's? No, it's not. Is it chair or my total position? Which one is this?
So
So it's just
any professional member. So the public members, Ms. Pryor serves. We can't have another public member, but any professional member who wants to serve on the council could
nominate themselves.
could nominate themselves or
Yes.
could
Could
Renominate me. So, okay. All right. Thank you for that clarification. It's a little confusing when you're doing it about yourself. So, so the floor is open for nominations. Okay,
Don't everybody
you
jump
can
at
nominate
once.
yourself or you can renominate me.
I guess the big question is, do you want to continue doing it? Then we nominate you.
Well, I would be honored. I
Yeah.
would be honored. I would be honored to continue.
Okay, good.
I really agree with the direction we're going and the support we have from staff, public, and both nationally.
Brian's doing a great job.
Okay. So we need that in the form of a motion.
I'll make a motion
I'll second.
To do what, Leanne? A motion to do what?
to keep you in your current position.
Okay. That's clear enough?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We have a second from Ms. Andrade. All those in favor signify by saying aye, raising your right hand.
Aye.
All right. Any opposed? All right. And I will abstain from this vote. So, all right. So motion does carry, does pass. So does that mean I'm another full term?
2 year.
2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 years. Okay.
The delegate is a 2-year term.
Yes. Okay. All right. Now we're down on agenda item number 7, examination matters. So this is typically related to the jurisprudence exam and any changes made. And I approved those back in, I guess, early December, I think was. Is that right, Sarah?
In November,
Oh,
and
it's
the
late.
vendor reported they were completed by November 21st. So we were
Okay.
just a week behind the effectiveness of the rules, which is pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. So for those of you out there, the jurisprudence exam is all professional organizations have to have a jurisprudence exam. Ours is related to social work, of course, and everybody has to take it prior to earning a license. So we don't need to take any action really on that. Just
You
any
also have the
discussion.
vendor's report in your packet. So if you have any questions about that, I'd be happy to answer any questions. There were not any anomalies from the vendor's report that I saw that any additional changes were needed. But again, if you see something, I'd be happy to implement those.
Yeah. Anybody have any input on that? Okay. Hearing none, seeing none, we'll flip the script here. And I think we're on agenda item 11. I didn't see 4th. Keeping up. Okay.
I haven't seen 8.
Yeah, we did. 8.
Oh, I'm sorry, we did. Sorry.
Yeah, we did 8.
Yep, you're better than me.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank God you were there.
I'm scribbling on this paper trying to keep up. So agenda item 11, recommendations for agenda items for our next meeting. Board, y'all have anything that you would like to be added to the agenda? If not today, we have until a few days before our next meeting, or is it 30 days before our next meeting we have to have?
It's
We-
preferable, but
we would appreciate the 30
Yeah,
days
30-day
notice so we
notice,
can
yeah.
get stuff prepared.
Yeah. So anybody that has anything for the next meeting, which will be
April
4th? I think it's
April 4th, correct.
Yeah, yeah. So our next meeting will be at 10 a.m., April 4th, 2025. Same bat time, same bat channel for y'all. So, all right. Anything from staff on future agenda items that we need to be preparing for? I think
No, we will try to have some rule proposals for you by then,
Okay.
but nothing as of yet.
Coming out of the
Out of the
review.
yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And then the big board, the BHEC meeting is February 18th, 10 a.m. Pretty sure it's 10 a.m. Yeah, it's 10 a.m. I'm pretty sure. So if you want to tune in for that, we invite you. You can join by Zoom as well. So that leads us to the end of our agenda today. We've done a lot of work and a lot of things happening. The legislature is in session. I know Director Spinks has emailed some of us items that are on the agenda for the legislature that impact BHEC as a whole, not necessarily directly related to social work, but BHEC as a whole. And there's a lot of things happening out there. So stay tuned, and we encourage our NASW government folks to keep us updated if with things we need to know about that we can participate in. Some things we're limited in what we can and can't do. So, and really for those guys out there that we talked about today with section that were impacted by section 108 of the occupations code, y'all just follow along. We have no idea what the outcome of this lawsuit will be. But one thing I would encourage all social workers to do, if you see something that that you feel like needs to be updated or changed, that is a statute, you can reach out to us, but you also have the opportunity to reach out to your elected representatives to make your voice heard. That's a lot more important than them hearing from us, I think, sometimes when they hear from their actual constituents and not somebody who they see as just an appointed board member who just wants things their way. I think the public has a bigger role. The professional members of the social work community have a bigger role to play in changes. So that's all I got. Motion to adjourn. Need a second.
Second.
All right. Thank y'all for showing up. I know a lot of folks are sick and not feeling good. I know y'all can tell that my voice is cracky, but we are now adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.